Hello everyone, it is August. It is the 1st of August today and we are doing this monthly vlog thing again. The first half of August is going to fly by in a mix of chaos and excitement, I think. As I said, it's the first today. The kids go back to school on the 13th. So we've got about 2 weeks, I think, until the kids go back to school. But we have got a lot on. So tomorrow we are leaving, we are heading down. Are you focusing on my face? Maybe better. Tomorrow we are leaving and we are heading away for the weekend. One of my best friends, pretty much the only school friend that I'm still in touch with, is getting married on Saturday afternoon, and we're heading. So that's near Hemel Hempstead, which is kind of, I don't know, just north of London, kind of. I don't really know. So we are heading down for that, but we are stopping in Leicester with my sister and my sister-in-law on Friday night, and then we're going to spend part of the day with them because the wedding's not till 3. It's only about an hour and a half from where the wedding is from them. So we're going to do that, and then we're staying in Hemel Hempstead Saturday night, and we're driving back up to Leicester first thing Sunday morning, spending the whole of Sunday and Sunday night again with my sister in Leicester, and then heading home on Monday. Then I'm back at work Tuesday. Then Wednesday afternoon we leave for Glasgow for WorldCon, which we are doing as a family. I can't remember if I've mentioned that. I don't usually do anything business related or yarn show related or anything like that as a family. It's very much kind of my business and I treat it like that. But when I applied for WorldCon, we were conscious that it was in the middle of the summer holidays. A sci-fi convention was something that Tom and the kids would really enjoy. So we thought, why not? We'll do it as a big family thing. It's not the type of thing I would normally vend at, so I don't know what to expect. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, WorldCon is Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. So it's a 4.5 day show. We're going to set up first thing on Thursday morning. So yeah, we're driving over to Glasgow Wednesday afternoon, staying Wednesday through... I don't think we're staying Monday night. No, we're not staying Monday night because then the kids go back to school on the Tuesday. So yeah, chaos. And then the second half of the month will be much calmer because it will be back to normal, and I will be focusing on getting the clubs out and sorting out the shop a little bit. I want to get a few things online, like there'll be all the stuff that I'm taking to the show that will need to go online. I've also got all of the Wind in the Willows spares and stuff that need to go online at some point. Yeah, there's a few bits and pieces like that I just need to get listings and photographs and all that kind of stuff done, and I haven't really had chance. And then yeah, it will mostly be clubs and advents and stuff like that I'll be focusing on for the second half of August. But yeah, I thought I would carry on this monthly vlog kind of thing, share some snippets. Obviously the first half will be very much focused on kind of little bits of us going away, but also WorldCon. I will take some stuff at WorldCon. Actually, what I might do is just give my camera over to Tom for a little while and be like, go and take some footage for me. I'll have plenty of people that will be able to do that. You might even get some Arthur cam. He likes an excuse to go around with a camera for a while. So yeah, it should be an interesting month. I'm very much looking forward to the second half of the month when things relax a little bit. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes, won't we?
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. one to give up the ghost. No, I was so stuck, I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear, and now that you're here I see colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. Myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time. And I know it so well, I will always be by your side. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better.
Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, Tuesday the 6th of August. We are back from our weekend away. We had a lovely weekend. It was just lots of late nights and early mornings, but it was really, really fun. We stopped Friday night with my sister in Leicester, and then Saturday we went to my friend's wedding. I didn't get a lot of footage of the wedding because they had photographers and all kinds of stuff going on, and it's their private thing. It's not overly private. I'll explain that in a minute. But it wasn't my place to record that and put it on the internet, if that makes sense. But I did get a few snippets of the lovely reservoir. It was a slightly different wedding. I don't know if I've talked about this. It was a slightly different wedding because my friend Kathy, who got married, she lives on a canal boat, and her now husband is also a boater. He lives on a canal boat, and he works for a company that delivers fuel to all the canal boats. So they actually got married on the canal in a coal boat, which was really, really interesting. It was a really kind of different wedding. It was really chilled, really relaxed. They did it all themselves. We just chilled out. We had tables and stuff set up just on the banks of the canal where they had the wedding, and we just had food and drinks and stuff out there. And it was right next to a big reservoir, which was really, really lovely. There's a thing behind me that I keep trying to not fall over. Move. There we go. Which was really, really lovely. So yeah, I haven't got a lot of footage of it, but if you are interested in canal boats and that kind of thing, and you want to see the wedding, then they are actually being filmed for Channel 4, and they are going to be on the next series of Narrow Escapes, which I've never seen, but it is a canal boat series on Channel 4 that follows various different boaters and their lives and stuff like that. And they were looking for a couple who would be getting married on their boats, and Kathy put her hand up and kind of said, oh, we're getting married this summer. And yeah, so they were actually filmed by Channel 4 in the lead up to the wedding, and kind of getting the boats ready and all the preparation and everything. And then during the wedding, Channel 4 had just left a load of mounted GoPros set up, so it wasn't really invasive at all. And yeah, they're going to be on Narrow Escapes. Goodness knows when the next series is coming out. But if that is something you're interested in and you want to see the wedding, then there we go. She did say that they're probably not going to be showing guests and stuff, so you'll probably only catch glimpses of our backs or our legs or stuff like that. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. So there we go. We're definitely going to look out for it when the new series comes up, because it'll be really interesting to kind of see what we experienced of the wedding from a different perspective. And things like that. But yeah, it was a really fun day. And then Sunday we just spent the whole day with my sister. Again, I didn't do a lot of filming there just because it was, I don't know, her family thing, and they're not particularly
keen on being splashed all over the internet. Yeah, but we had a lovely time. We walked down to a place in Leicester called King's Lock and had ice cream, and it was lots of locks and canals this weekend, and had ice cream, and then we had a barbecue in the afternoon, and then we played a board game, and then in the evening we played D&D because my sister and I we play D&D together, the four of us, her fiance, and Tom and I all played D&D together. So we did an in-person session, which was amazing, and Arthur joined us, which he really enjoyed as well. So yeah, and then we drove back yesterday afternoon. We got back about 5:30, something like that, and I'm straight into the studio today. Today is final chaos prep for WorldCon, because we leave for WorldCon tomorrow afternoon. I'm hoping that I can just push through everything today, and by the end of the day the car can be loaded, because I still need, although Tom is doing a lot of it as well because he's off this week with the kids, he's on leave, so he's got a day off with the kids today, so he's in charge of sorting out the laundry and all of that kind of stuff. And he'll do quite a lot, but we need to pack for us basically, and it's 5 nights away, so we need to pack a fair amount, with no washing facilities as well because we're staying in a Premier Inn. And yeah, so I'm hoping we can do that tomorrow. I want to go and get a load of snacks for the show and just have everything ready so that it's all kind of low stress. And then I'm setting up first thing on Thursday morning. So we're staying Wednesday night in Glasgow, and then I'm setting up first thing on Thursday morning. And then it's WorldCon, which will be really interesting. So yeah, I don't know how much I've really talked about it on here, but I am vending at a sci-fi convention this weekend. There were representatives at Glasgow School of Yarn last October, and they were saying they get a lot of crafters, they get a lot of people who are just sitting and knitting, sitting and crocheting while they're at panels and while they're doing kind of all the stuff at the convention. It is a massive convention. It's an international convention. Last year I think it was held in China, so it's a lot bigger than I thought it was when I applied for it. But they suggested it might be worth a try, and that yeah, it would be interesting to give it a go. So I applied and I thought I'd give it a go. There are, as far as I can tell, 3 yarnies that are going. So there is me, there is Lisa from For the Love of Yarn, and Lola from Third Volt Yarns, and we're all in a little group together, which is quite nice. So there'll be some familiar faces, which will be good. And other than that, I don't really know what to expect. There is a massive kind of array of stuff. There is academic conference elements to it that Tom has already said, oh, I really want to go and see this. One of his students is actually presenting at it. There is a massive literature section with a load of like talks from authors and book signings and stuff like that from names that I recognise as well. Juno Dawson is going to be there. She wrote Her Majesty's Secret Coven, Her Majesty's Royal Coven, and the Shadow Cabinet. Seanan Maguire is going to be there, who wrote the Wayward Children series, which I've been reading this year and really, really enjoying. What other names can I remember off the top of my head? I can't. They were the big ones that really jumped out at me because I've been reading their books recently. Yeah, a whole host of kind of authors and stuff like that. Then there's also a whole host of stuff from like sci-fi films and sci-fi gaming, and yeah, it's immense, this thing. We have upgraded all of our trader passes so that we've got kind of full tickets for the weekend. So if there's any kind of things that I want to go to or things that Tom wants to go to, we can do that. There's also a massive programme of activities and stuff for the kids as well. So they're going to be able to go to various activities. I keep saying the weekend. It's not the weekend. It's Thursday afternoon, full day Friday, full day Saturday, full day Sunday, and then full day Monday as well. So it's a big thing to do. And I have no idea how well it's going to go in terms of the business. Like, I have no idea. When I go to a yarn show, I have a rough expectation of how much I'll sell. I have a rough expectation of how much money I'll make. Sometimes I do a bit under, sometimes I do a bit over. You know, but I still have a rough estimation of what I'm going to do. I have absolutely no idea with this. It's massive, it's international, so there will be people coming from all over the world. But how many of them are going to want hand-dyed yarn? How many of them are going to be crafters? It's really, really, really hard to know. Yeah, I have absolutely no clue. So we will see, I guess. I'll bring you along. I'm going to bring my camera with me to WorldCon. I am doing a full WorldCon vlog for my Patreons, but I will also put a number of snippets and bits and pieces in this vlog as well, so you will get to see that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes really, I guess. But what have I got to do today? I'm chatting away. What have I got to do today? So I'm going to start with some labelling. I've got a little bit more scaling that needs to be done, but I just went and checked the yarn and I'm playing the game of cold or damp at the moment. It's been hung on the airers since Thursday, so really it should be dry, but I'm kind of feeling it. I'm like, I can't decide if that's cold or if that's damp. So I've chucked the heated airers on for a couple of hours and then I'll skein it and hopefully it'll be fine. It has been here all weekend with no heating, and so yeah, and the shutter goes down, so there's no light coming in either, so it can get a little bit on the cooler side in here. So it may be that it's just not quite dried. So yeah, so we're gonna skein later. So I'm gonna tackle all of this needs labelling on here, and what else? Yeah, all of that needs labelling. I've got that little bit of scaling that needs done. I've got a whole load of new needle stoppers that need sorting. I need to finish kind of packing those up. I need to go through the Notion stuff that's in front of me and kind of get all of that packed. And then it's just getting everything packed. I have been packing, I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see. On the floor down here, there are a few bags because I did take a load of stuff off the shelves and kind of pack it. So when I was trying to plan what I was going to take and where I'm going to, like, not where I'm going to put things, but when I was trying to plan what I was going to take, in terms of numbers, like I know I need to take, I do 8 skeins in a row on a grid wall. There are 2 rows per grid wall. There are 3. So I've got, I think it's like 40 or something like that. It's basically 6 lots of 8, which is 40. Is that right? My brain's gone. 6 lots of 8. No. 8 times 6. What's 8 times 6? I'm doing 9s. That's why I'm getting confused. 40 something. 42, 41, 40, I can't remember. Anyway, my brain's gone. It's written down, it's fine. So yeah, I know how many colours I need to fill that space on the grid wall. So I have got a load of stuff I need to go through because some of it isn't labelled, and yeah, there's lots to do. But I will try and get some snippets and bits and pieces as we do it, and then we'll pack the car later, hopefully. Hopefully I will get to the stage of packing the car, and then we will be a little bit more prepared. That'll make tomorrow a lot calmer. If I don't have to come into the studio and get the car packed tomorrow, it'll be a lot easier. So I'd really need to crack on because I've been chatting to you randomly for 10 minutes and I need to work.
Hey, I wish you could see yourself just sitting there on my chair. I'm staring at you, you don't even notice. Should've told you straight away, you don't have to be afraid anymore. I know you haven't noticed. You'll know, you'll know. That I won't let you go. Put your arms around me and I'll let you know how it feels when time goes slow. And I
One of the things I did for the first time before the Wool Monty in June was actually plan out where I want the colours on my grid wall before the show. And when we'd set up, it saved so much time. It was incredible. So I'm trying to do that this time, especially considering my helpers for setup are going to be Tom and the kids, and they have never helped at a show before, so they are going to be completely inexperienced. As I was saying earlier, I do 2 rows of 8 on each grid wall for the main 4-ply colours, and then I'll have baskets of other stuff underneath that. And I think this is what we're going for. I like to kind of put the colours on the grid wall in orders that go with each other, and so colours that go with each other will match next to each other. Things I've got in samples together will work. So we're starting with the purples, I think. I've got a sample of Wendy with the fluff. I've got a sample of Tinkerbell with that fluff, and I think all these other ones kind of pair together quite nicely, and you could mix and match quite nicely in those colours. We then carry on from this colour into kind of more sort of turquoises and things like that, I think. This one feels a little bit out of place, but I feel like it needs to go in with the turquoises because the greens just too different to all the rest of the... Sorry, it needs to go in with the purples because the greens are just too different to all the rest of the purples. Yeah, I think so, anyway. Then we go into kind of blues, go into greys, because these greys all have blues in them. And then we've got, again, kind of grey fluff popped in there, as well as some grey solids. Then we go back into sort of greys with greens, and into a couple of kind of more variegated ones with greens and reds that I couldn't really find anywhere else to go. Then we start again down here. We're kind of carrying on from that end, I guess, but it doesn't, I don't know. I never know if it quite works doing it that way, but I can't work out another way I like. So we then come down into reds, and the reds then move into browns, and browns into yellows, yellows into oranges, and then we've got oranges into greens because I've got a few colours that are mixes of orange and greens that works quite well. Yeah, into greens. Again, I've got a sample of these two together, and then we're going into kind of lighter greens. I've got these two together in a sample, and then kind of, yeah, going into lighter greens into, I guess, a blue and yellow at the end, but I think it kind of works in the scheme of things. These two actually go together quite well. So I think that's what we're going to do on the grid wall. Hopefully that'll work. Right, I think we are ready to pack the car. I have some helpers who have arrived, as well as a larger husband helper who is off camera. So they're gonna help me pack the car. But I think everything is pretty much sorted. Are you excited for WorldCon?
Yeah!
I think they're excited to help me out on my stall for once.
But I'm excited for the trip there.
You're not excited for the trip there?
Yeah.
No, we've had a lot of long car journeys recently, and I think he's a bit fed up. It's only an hour and a half. It's not bad.
I know.
Right, I will flip you around. I will show you the bags we've got ready to go in the car. And then I will set my camera up for a hyperlapse, although I'm very conscious that I am wearing scruffs today. I am in leggings and a sweatshirt. So, yeah, you're going to have a great view. And then I will talk to you again probably when we're all set up and done at WorldCon. Here are all the bags. Once again, I have labelled them all so I know what's in everything, and it makes it easier for us to pack. So this is all the yarn that's going. I still need to sort out boxes and baskets and stuff like that. Tom is flipping through the Discworld books, which I may have borrowed from my sister to go on the bookshelf because I don't actually have very many Discworld books in physical copies. I need to remember to grab the Lord of the Rings books from home, and I should have a nicer version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy arriving as well, because that's coming with me to this show. Right, shall we go and work out packing the car? Right, I don't know if you can hear me because it is really, really loud in here and I am on my phone, but we will see. I think I am all set up. It is enormous. At some point we will get round and show you more of it and things like that, but I thought I would quickly show you the stall set up and see what you think. I've actually got I've got a 4x2 metre space, so I've got 2 stalls worth of space, and each stall is like a table and a bit, if that makes sense. So I've got quite a lot of space, and I think I'm happy with the setup. Still not quite sure whether I want to put up lights or not, but we'll see what happens. But I will flip you around and show you how it's set up. We've got the 3 grid wall. This is my new setup, which I love. For the last couple of shows I've done it and it's worked really well. We've got some sock samples and hat samples on the top. We've got baskets with Lost Boys minis, Peter Pan minis, Beatrix Potter minis. We've got a basket of mixed spaces, which is a bit different. I don't usually do this, but I had stuff. So we've got Sparkle, BFL and Merino Bamboo, kind of random skeins in there. Same with the DK, random skeins of DK. Arthur is gesticulating for you. Then we've got needles and notions on the table. I got some fun new needle stoppers specifically for the sci-fi convention. So we've got little astronauts, and we've got little rocket ships, and we've got some Uno wild cards, and there are some Pokemon ones somewhere as well, aren't there? Oh, there you go, little Pokeballs as well. And then we've got the big glittering glittering snowflake shawl, which has worked really well. Lisa, for the love of yarn, is just behind me, and she was very kind to let me get my sample up on her wall, which works beautifully, and the packs are just there for it. I've bought both the rainbows and the sunset fades with me because I just had bits of each, so I thought I'd bring them, so that works nicely with the samples on there. I need to double check that's the right way round, actually. I think it is. Then we have the bookcase, obviously. The lights aren't on yet, but we have got Discworld at the top. I don't have any Discworld minis, but I do have 100-gram skeins of all of the Discworld colourways, and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy we've got as well. And then I've done Hobbit and Lord of the Rings because it seemed fitting for this kind of show. And then we've got 2 more grid walls over here. One which is just samples and swatches, and then we've got some sock sets and some more mini bundles. So yeah, that is the stall as a whole. If I can get back.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. Fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours. Dreaming of you. Dreaming of you. Smile. What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Hey, I heard you got a new best friend. Yeah, it hurts a bit, I won't pretend that it doesn't matter that you're with someone else. In a way, that's how it's supposed to be. If I'm unable to make you happy, then it's for the better that you are not with me. That's why I wrote you a letter, 'cause you see, I write so much better than I speak. And I need to tell you, you were my best friend to the end. I hope I'll be happy without you, but right now I don't know what to do. It's hard to get over, you chose someone else, a new best friend. Doesn't feel like it was long ago. We were head over heels in love, thought it'd last forever, but somehow we got lost.
Hello, I am all back from WorldCon. You might be a bit echoey actually because you're in an empty bookcase. I am all back from WorldCon. We got back Monday night. Today is Wednesday. I had a really lazy day yesterday. I was just so knackered. I'm still so tired. It was 5 days of vending at a show is no joke at all. I am exhausted. So I had a day at home yesterday. I started on editing the WorldCon vlog for the Patreons. You will have seen, hopefully, a bit of WorldCon footage as well. And I'll have tried to put some information on the screen so you kind of understand a bit more about what you're seeing. Still losing my voice. Yeah, I did that and I did a bit of admin-y stuff, but I had a day at home. And then today I am back in the studio very, very briefly to just unload the car and get everything in. And I've done, again, a little bit more editing. I need to make a start on editing this August vlog, which took a bit of a back seat during WorldCon because I've just not had time really. So I don't think I've got any actual sort of chatty footage about specifically for the August vlog during WorldCon, but I will do a little video sharing some of the books that I bought because I did buy a lot of books. It was a very literary thing, and there were lots of amazing bookshelves. So we will have a little fly through my bookshelves, and I will show you the ones I picked up at WorldCon and tell you a little bit about them probably. But I have got to go pretty much now because I am heading into town today to get more added to my tattoo, which I can't show you because it's on this arm. See if I can do. So I am going for this is my tattoo. Both of my tattoos are by the super talented Charlotte Ross, who is Charlotte Ross Art, or I think, also Flock Studios on Instagram. She does the most amazing florals and things like that. She also did my little dice one as well. That was my little tester, like my little, I want a tattoo, but I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I'm going to start small and we'll go from there. And it was a brilliant experience. So we went bigger. So this is my rhododendron, which is it's kind of a reminder of my grandma because she could never say rhododendron. So she always called rhododendrons rosydendrons. So for the start of it, we started with a rose and a rhododendron. And we are adding to it. It's eventually going to become a big floral sleeve. We are adding to it this week. Today we are adding lily of the valley, forget-me-nots and bluebells, which are flowers that are used during Flora Day, which is a kind of, I don't really know. It's a thing in my hometown. Where I grew up in Helston, we have Flora Day every year, and all the schools, the kids dance through the streets to Flora Day music. There is a proper word for it. I can't remember. Anyway, and it's a whole big thing in the town we grew up. And everyone wears Lily of the Valley. And then my school specifically, you had to wear forget-me-nots in your hair. And when we decorate, like our house, the outside of the houses and the outside of the shops and all of that kind of stuff get decorated. And they get decorated with bluebells and laurel and gorse. So we were going forget-me-nots, Lily of the Valley and bluebells as like a little nod to that, to extend the sleeve. So I will show you that a little bit later on.
And yeah, I will try and pop and do a bit of a book kind of, these are the books that I bought at WorldCon kind of thing. We also got some amazing art prints, so I might try and show you those as well. And then I am back in the studio properly from tomorrow. I am going to unpack, I'm going to stock check. I've got a little bit of yarn I need to dye because while I didn't take everything off the website because I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I'll talk more about WorldCon tomorrow, but yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be as amazing an experience as it was, so I didn't take everything off the website. And then I've had a few orders that have come in and they're things that actually sold at the show, so I need to do some frantic dyeing to kind of restock them before I ship them out, which was a bit of a bad move on my part, but I just didn't have time to deal with all the admin of taking everything off the website. So yeah, I did kind of check orders as I went through and I took some things like off the stand as the orders came in, so I've got most of it, but there are just a few bits and pieces that I just didn't. Anyway, I really need to go because I'm going to be late if otherwise, but I will touch in and share some more bits and pieces shortly. Right, I am home. I'm actually home and have had dinner and stuff like that. This is the first chance I've had to pick up my camera. I have been stabbed repeatedly by needles and I have had my tattoo. I will pop pictures up. I will come this way and, I will move the Star Wars bobblehead out of the way. And I will pop some pictures up here so you can see a little bit better because I'm obviously all covered in cling film at the moment, so you really can't see it. But we added my bluebells, my forget-me-nots and my lily of the valleys to my tattoo. Now I just need to decide which flowers I'm going to go for next and when. Like, it'll be next year sometime. I'm not having more added this year. It'll be, I think I had the rose and the rhododendron done in October last year. Then we've added these now, and it will probably be kind of, I don't know, March, April maybe time I might get something else added. So it's basically like a once a year thing that I'm adding to it. Kind of like that. Anyway, that was the tattoo. It was fine. Charlotte is lovely. She is a private tattooist, so she has her own little private tattoo studio. So it's really, really chilled, really, really relaxed. She's really friendly. So it is just a brilliant experience all round. So that is done. But I thought I would come and check in. I'm going to talk properly about WorldCon tomorrow, I think. I will sit down at some point at the studio and have a little chat about what it was and what we enjoyed about it and stuff like that. But I did say I was going to come and share the books that I bought. There were so many bookstores. It was incredible because, so WorldCon is... I may have said this before, I've no idea. WorldCon is a big science fiction and fantasy convention it's an international convention, and there were so many people there from all around the world. It's hosted in a different country every year. So the last time it was in Glasgow was back in 2005, I believe. It's done a few London ones, and I think there might have been the odd one in Edinburgh as well. But it's very much like every 5 to 10 years that it comes to the UK. It's going to be in Seattle next year, in LA the year after, and stuff like that. So if you're in any of those places, then I would highly recommend you check it out because it was absolutely amazing. But there's a lot of literature stuff there, lots of kind of stuff about computer games and things like that. But it was very, very heavy on the literature side. So there were some amazing booksellers. Including The Broken Binding, who do beautiful special editions of books, as well as Illumicrate, who run a monthly subscription service for special edition books, as well as selling beautiful special edition books. There were also some smaller, more independent bookshops that came. There was a Waterstone stall, and all kinds of things like that. So yeah, I did buy a few books. I may have come home... Well, I came home with 17 books, but I only bought 14 books, I think, if that makes sense. Anyway, I will flip the camera around and we will do a quick bookshelf tour to show you the new books that I bought, and I'll tell you briefly about them as I show them. So the one shelf TBR thing that I might have talked about in the past, I can't remember if I've talked about it, where I've talked about it, but I might have mentioned it at some point, has gone out the window because I now have 2.5 shelves of TBR. But anyway, these are the new ones. So from here to the end, as well as some on another shelf. So I picked up, let's see, I've got them in a funny order, haven't I? This one was free.
It is a fantasy. I know nothing about it. It was just on the freebies table. Tom picked it up for me. It sounded interesting. If you want to read the blurb, you can pause quickly and read it now. But yeah, it just sounded really, really interesting. A deadly sickness, traveling through a country and somebody being called to the country's aid, basically. But it was one of the freebie table ones. Get it back in again. Hang on, there's going to be some shoddy camera work while I fiddle with books. You're also on the top shelf, so I'm having to reach up. This was also a freebie one from the freebie table. Dark Town, level 1 of Dragon's Crawl. It sounded really, really fun. Oh, bookshelf, bookmarks falling out of it. Again, I will hold it up there so you can pause if you want to read the blurb. But it sounds very kind of D&D-esque. It's a world where adventurers complete to collect power objects and progress on levels, and the main character's father and brother have been doing it for ages and never come back, so she's decided to kind of go after them, I guess. So those two were both off the freebies table. I picked up a copy of this one, Into the Drowning Deep. This is horror with killer mermaids, basically. Again, I will turn it around a sec so you can pause if you want to read the blurb. But Mira Grant is also Seanan Maguire. Mira Grant is the pen name that Seanan Maguire writes under when she's writing horror. And she was at the convention. Oh, that was my thing. She was at the convention and I went to a panel that she was at. And I managed to get my book personalised and signed, which was really, really exciting. So that was that one. Then, oh, my arm. Why am I doing this when I've got a freshly tattooed arm? I picked up this book here, Rendered Flesh, by David Cartwright, because I'm a sucker for zombies. And he was right opposite my stall. He was absolutely lovely. And it's just sounded so cool. It's like when again, you can pause if you want to read the blurb, when a zombie apocalypse RPG goes wrong. And it just sounded super fun and I couldn't resist. He also signed it for me with a always aim for the head. So that is that one. Oh, my arms, my arms, my arms. I picked up a copy of The Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. So this one and also Joe Abercrombie, The Blade itself, which I picked up. They were on a stall that was suddenly on the last day doing a special offer of 50% off all books, basically. Again, pause to read. This is a fantasy romance, basically. So I went and picked those two up half price. I will move the Joe Abercrombie one round so you can read the blurb of that one if you would like to pause and read the blurb of that one as well. And then, because they were doing a special offer, they also threw in an extra book. So they looked at this one and they were like, right, if you like that one, you will like this one. This is The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. This is actually a proof copy, so I don't think it's got the blurb on the back. It has been published now, but as you can see, it's an uncorrected proof. Here's the blurb. There's the blurb inside. Yes. There we go, I think. There, you can read the blurb there. So it's kind of a queer fantasy romance in a zoo that has magical creatures, which sounds super fun. We're still going. There's more books. Oh, but my arm's getting tired. Right, I will save those. Those four are all, well, that one isn't actually new. That one I got for my birthday in July. Those three I will save for a minute because they're all special editions. So I will actually get them down so I can show them a little bit more easily. But then down here, there are a few more. So again, these two were last minute special editions, special offers. The Illumicrate stand was selling them. They are the first two books in a trilogy and they were selling them two for £5. So I was like, how can I not? They sound really cool. Again, blurb there. Basically, what happens when the chosen one finds out, has been training all their life because they're the chosen one, only to find out that they're not actually the chosen one. And it sounded quite fun. They said it was really good for fans of the Poppy War and things like that. So I think this is one both Tom and I will enjoy. And we got books 1 and 2 in that one. I also picked up a copy of T. Kingfisher's Nettle and Bone. I've never read any T. Kingfisher, but I really wanted to get something from the Broken Binding bookshop with their lovely kind of sprayed edges and special editions. And of all the books, apart from 2 that I had read and was very tempted, even though I own them both, this was the one that I ended up picking up. It does have a lovely skeleton dog on the front cover as well. I will hold that there. Oh, hang on. There we go. So again, pause if you want to read the blurb of that one quickly. So that is that one. And then I can't get the thing back in. Then I picked up these ones. So these are the first 3 of a currently 10 book series, and they are a queer kind of, I think it's got a bit of romance, kind of queer romance, kind of, I don't really know, supernatural queer romance kind of thing, maybe. Again, pause to read the blurb if you want to, but it sounded really fun, and I thought, why not? I love that kind of thing. We'll give it a go. And she had a special offer on the final day to get like the first 3 books cheaper, so that's what I did. And then finally down here, I just picked up a copy of A Marvellous Light by Freya Marske. Again, read the blurb if you'd like to. I picked this one up because it's been on my list for absolutely ages, and it was also nominated for Best Series in the Hugo Awards, which is one of the things. So the Hugo Awards are big awards anyway. You'll often see them on the front of books. I do have books with it written on, nominated for the Hugo Award kind of thing, but I think they're upstairs on the other shelf. But yeah, you see that on books and things. And they're like sci-fi fantasy awards, not just for literature. They do all kinds of things, like Baldur's Gate 3, for example. The computer game won this year's Hugo Award. And Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves won Best Film at the Hugo Awards this year. The Last of Us episode with the Love Story episode, if you've watched the Last of Us TV series, that won an award for like Best Episode as well, and things like that. And they didn't win the Best Series, but it was nominated for Best Series. And I thought, I need a copy of that. So I did. And then the last 3 books are the fancy special editions that I bought. So I will bring them down and show you them properly because that'll be easier. Okay, we'll do it this way round. So the first one I got was The Book Eaters by Sunny Dean. Look at this, so pretty. Look at that sprayed edge. It is so, so, so gorgeous. This is an Illumicrate edition. They had them, I was actually surprised by how reasonable the special editions were. They were 2 for £15, 2 for £30. So they were £15 each, which for a fancy hardback is not bad. I mean, the edition that Tom got me for my birthday, this one here, it was like the Waterstones edition that he bought me was £22 in itself. So I thought 2 books for £30 was actually fairly reasonable. I don't think they've got... No, it hasn't got a price in it, so that's just kind of what they were selling them for there. It is an exclusive to Illumicrate, but the cover as well, under the dust cover, the book is just gorgeous as well. And it is just, a stunning edition. It's signed by the author, as I think all the Illumicrate special editions are. And this one just sounded really fun. Again, I will, hang on, where do I need to do that? See if you can you read it there if you pause? Hopefully you can read that. But this one sounded really, really fun. The bit I really liked was, this is a story of escape, a mother's savage devotion and a queer love that will electrify readers looking for something beguiling, thrilling, strange and new. It just sounded really, really good. And then I did the 2 for 30, as I said. So the second one I picked up was this one, Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. I couldn't read that backwards on my screen. It says, we can get murdered tomorrow. Tonight we party.
Again, gorgeous sprayed edges. This one is set on a ship. It's like a murder mystery kind of thing on a ship, I think. So you've got this gorgeous map of the ship. And then the actual cover of the book itself, again, is absolutely gorgeous. And it is signed by the author as well. So very, very fancy. I will show you the blurb of that one as well, so you can read the blurb. It's going to be a bit trickier. Hopefully, right, if I just show you the white bit, then you can pause and read that if you can. And the top bit says, 12 magical blessings, 12 days at sea, one chance to stop a killer and save the world. So that sounds really fun. And then the final book that I got, this is quite a special one. There was an amazing woman who, again, I plugged on my Patreon vlog, and I'm going to plug now because she was super talented. And in my mind, she kind of did with books what I do with yarn. So she hand paints edges. So like these ones, for example, are obviously commercially spray painted. They're commercially done. They're not hand painted. But she hand paints edges of books to turn them into like special one-off edition kind of things, basically. Now, obviously, understandably, that means they're not cheap at all. And she charges absolutely exactly what she should charge. This is her card, Peggy's Pages. And I will turn it around the other way so you can see her details as well. Follow her on Instagram because everything is beautiful. And I couldn't justify the cost of a brand new book. Most of them I looked at and I was like, oh, they're gorgeous. I love it. It's beautiful. I cannot justify the cost of it because I don't know if I'm going to love the book kind of thing. And then later in the con, she bought out some seconds that were just either slightly damaged or like there was something about them and they were a lot cheaper. And then I was like, actually, I can afford that. That's fine. And at some point, she does commissions. So at some point, I'm thinking of seeing if I can get her to paint this one, because this is one of my absolute favourite books and it is signed by the author as well. And having like a hand-painted edge done on that one as maybe a birthday present or a Christmas present or something like that would be amazing, because that is a book I love. Anyway, all of that to say, I did pick up one of her books because I couldn't resist. I picked up Ariadne, and the only reason, by Jennifer Saint, the only reason this one was discounted, and I don't even know if you can see it on camera, maybe just, is because there is a crease down the sleeve of the cover. That is the only reason this one was discounted, and the edges are beautiful. So yeah, that's that one. This is a Greek retelling. I've had it on my list for ages. That is the blurb, in case, again, you would like to read it. But yeah, they're all the books, all 17 of the books that came home with me. Tom also bought a few books. And things like that. As I said, we also bought some art prints as well, and I will show you those at some point in August. We may actually start getting them on the wall later this month, in which case that would be a good time to show you them, I guess, probably, yeah. And I will try and sit down at some point tomorrow and give you a little overview of WorldCon and what it was like, and then we will carry on with the rest of the month as normal.
Good morning. Yeah, I don't sound great, do I? it's Friday today. Friday the, I don't know because my watch is not telling me, 16th. Friday the 16th of August. I was in the studio yesterday. I got everything unpacked. You will have seen maybe a few little clips of that. I forgot to take my camera, so I was having to try and prop my phone up in funny places. And yeah, I started with a bit of a cold. It's basically my body going, you've done too much over the last 6 weeks, so just stop. So that is what I'm doing today. I'm just stopping. I am just stopping. I had got yarn prepped to dye today, but it'll keep till Monday. It'll be fine. And if I take today's Friday, as I said, so if I take today off, and I've then got the weekend as well, we've got a quiet weekend planned. And then I can get back to it on Monday and everything will be back to normal. So I am taking a day off. I am having a sofa day. Tom has taken the kids to school and he's headed into work. He's also done me a post office run on his way into work, which is amazing. So I am just going to have a sofa day. I am in the midst of reading Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. I'm getting a fair way through, nearly halfway through. So I am going to crack on with that. I might pick up my blanket. It's just here. I wonder if I can get it up without everything going chaos and spilling all the things. I can. My mild magic blanket. I am so close to finishing this. I'm just on the border, so I might put a film on later maybe, or a TV series or something, and get a little bit more done on that. But I am just going to have... My phone randomly decided to stop recording. I am just going to have a really, really lazy, quiet rest day, basically, in the hope that my body goes, okay, yeah, you can feel a bit better. You can stop being congested. You can stop having headaches. And yeah, everything can be better by Monday. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, I have to be honest. We had such a busy summer holiday anyway, and then 5 full days of vending at the convention was, as I said before, it is no joke. It is a lot. It is exhausting. So I'm unsurprised that my body has just decided that it doesn't want any more. It doesn't want to keep pushing through work, and I need to listen to it. So I am going to rest. Just picked up the kids from school. I'm still feeling, I'm still feeling pretty rotten, but it's fine. I had to actually put some clothes on and not just stay in my pajamas because I had to pick the kids up from school. But one, I finished my blanket. I will show you in a second. It is the perfect size for what I wanted it for. And two, I received a yarny package. So we will open that. That will brighten my day. I'll show you the blanket and then we'll open the package. Here we go. One blanket, which I wanted to be like a lap blanket because this sofa is one of those kind of L sofas, so you can put your feet up on it. And it comes up to, see if I can show you properly, comes up kind of to my chest. And it's the perfect kind of, covers my toes, comes up to kind of my chest, my waist. And I'm so pleased with it. And here is our yarny package. Let's see if I can open this one-handed. So this is the Wildflower Yarn Club that I'm sure you will be familiar with by now. I am getting this each month this year. And each month it's all inspired by myth and magic. I think that's right. Is it Myths and Magic or Myths and Legends? Myths and Magic Club. So this month is gnomes. And she has a little postcard image each month, which shows you the inspiration, although the sticker is attached to it. There we go. So that is the inspiration image from this month. And you also get a little sticker of it as well. And there's little stitch markers somewhere in here too, if I can get them out. What have we got this month? Oh, they're cute. They are very cute. Little polymer clay gnomes. And this is the yarn. Gorgeous. That is very my colours. I'm loving that lime green pop. That is beautiful. That would make a very, very, very lovely shawl. Something like the Social Bubble or the Cavill shawl by Brixton Pearl, the ones that are designed for a 120 gram sock set, and you use the contrast colour as like a pop. That would work really nicely. Anyway, I am going to check out of this vlog for a couple of days. I am going to have the weekend where I don't need to think about it or anything like that. Hopefully I will get over this cold, and then we will be back in the studio on Monday, ready and raring to go. And there's lots to do next week, so lots to share.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Oh, 'cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to give up the ghost. No, I was so stuck. I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up 'cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear, and now that you're here I see colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. Myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time. And I know it so well, I will always be by your side. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.
I have just finished recording a podcast, which you will see before this vlog goes up. So I thought I would make the most of the fact that the camera is properly set up and everything, and pop on and say hello. Because the last few days I haven't really said hello at all in this vlog, because I've been recovering from my cold. I'm nearly there. I'm pretty much sorted, just a little bit congested. We've got Jasper off now because he caught it, and he was off on Monday because he had a temperature Monday morning. And then I sent him back to school on Tuesday because he seemed absolutely fine, which was a mistake because he didn't feel very well at the end of the day. His temperature was back up, and he was then sick on Tuesday because his temperature was high. It's not a bug, it was just that body's reaction to having a high temperature, I think. But our school's policy is if your child has been sick, they have to be off for 48 hours. So he's now off today and tomorrow. Tom is working at home with him today, and he's going to come to the studio with me tomorrow because he'll be fine tomorrow, absolutely fine. He seemed pretty well today, but he can chill out at the studio. He can curl up in this chair. He can watch stuff on his laptop, in his tablet and what have you. So yeah, but colds. We're nearly there though. We're getting there. I'm trying to crack through stuff this week. I am being delayed a little bit by a dye order that hasn't arrived yet, which should be arriving. I was hoping it would arrive today, but it hasn't yet. So hopefully it will arrive tomorrow. But annoyingly, I started yarn this morning and then realised that I don't have enough of one of the dyes to finish that yarn. So I've just turned it all off. And my camera battery died. And the spare battery for my camera is also dead. So we are on my phone, which means the audio won't be great. So apologies about that. I am going to try my best to take my camera home more often so that you get better quality, because I've just been editing. I'm going to hold it that way around. I've just been editing some of this vlog, and there are some moments where the camera quality isn't great, where I've kind of put my phone on a bookshelf and stuff like that. And the audio is the bit that's the worst. I might look into getting one of those microphones that people use on like TikTok and stuff, because they look quite clever. So I don't know. I can't plug my microphone into my I can't plug my microphone into my phone because my phone doesn't have a headphone port. So I'd need to get like a Bluetooth microphone or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I need to do some research for that because that might actually be handy. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So yes, what was I saying? I've forgotten. Oh, dyes, yes. So I've turned off the oven and left it, and then hopefully Thursday, when that dye order arrives, it'll be fine. It's just going to mean a little bit of kind of extra dye days and stuff, which is a bit stressful at the moment because I have got quite a lot to get done. But oh well. So today has mostly been about editing. I've spent a lot of time getting up to date editing the August vlog. I've recorded a podcast. I've recorded a bit of a Patreon vlog. And yeah, so I've mostly spent the day editing, which I could have done at home rather than being at the studio for it, but oh well. It needed to be done. I was hoping to get some advent skeining done, but I haven't even started on that. Well, I've got all of day one skeined. I've got about 10 days in total dyed. And yeah, it's just a question of skeining. I have, as I said, a massive dye order arriving, hopefully today or tomorrow. And then I can crack on, because I keep going to dye advent colourways and realising I don't have enough dye of certain colours, and stuff like that, which is getting a bit frustrating. But yeah, so hopefully that will rectify it and we can just crack on, and I will try and have a couple of days where I do more dyeing than I normally would do, if that makes sense. Yeah, and just see. It might be a case of having a couple of days next week, maybe, where the boys come back to the studio with me after school, so that I can kind of finish off a little bit of dyeing or something like that, because there is a lot to do. I've got to get the clubs done. I've got to get the Hitchhiker's pre-orders started. I've got Advent to dye. Yeah, a lot. There's a lot to do. What else did I want to talk about? WorldCon. I kept saying that I will sit and chat about WorldCon at some point, and I haven't done it yet because having had the cold and everything like that. And I kind of feel like we've got past the point in the video, really. But just enough to say that WorldCon was incredible. We had the best time. So from a business perspective, it was brilliant. It was so much better than I was expecting. There were so many crafters from around the world. It was incredible. And it very much equaled kind of what I would expect to take day by day at a yarn show. And it was 5 days. So yeah, I was very, very happy. It does mean I've got a lot of work to do to restock for Glasgow, but that's fine. We'll get on with it. We'll get it done, hopefully. But just from the kind of the perspective as us as a family, it was also just incredible. We had an amazing time. There were loads of panels and stuff like that. Tom managed to go to quite a few panels. I managed to get to a couple of panels. The kids program was incredible. There was an absolutely fantastic kids program. The kids had something to go to every day, and they didn't even do all of the kids program. There were more they could have done. But yeah, it was brilliant.
Really, really good. And yeah, we had the best time, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who is a sci-fi fantasy kind of fan, wherever you are in the world. If you can get yourself to a WorldCon at some point in the future, it is worth it, because it was brilliant and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, and would definitely like to go to another one. Even if traveling around the world following it is not doable for us. Hopefully the next time it comes to the UK, maybe Dublin, we might be able to attend, because yeah, it was so good. I am going to try and pick my camera up again a little bit for the rest of this week. As I said, I've got some dyeing to do, but a lot of the dyeing that I've got to do this week and into next week is kind of mystery dyeing. I'm dyeing clubs, I'm dyeing advents and stuff like that. So there might be some black and white shots of dyeing and things like that. But I will do my best. I will do my best. We've had a busy month so far, and we are getting to the tail end of the month. There is, one weekend left, I think. It's Tom's birthday on Saturday. I don't know what we're doing yet, but we might be going for a walk or something like that. So that would be nice to take you along with us. I need to bake him a birthday cake on Friday. So when I pick the kids up tomorrow after school, we need to go to the supermarket and get ingredients and bits and pieces to make his birthday cake, which I will do hopefully when I get home from work on Friday. And yeah, so there's still some fun things to come in August. I was just unpacking some undyed yarn that arrived yesterday, and I thought I'd show you a couple of fun new races that I picked up. I thought I would try. So for Glasgow School of Yarn, I'm going to be doing an exclusive colourway, and I thought I would try something with these. These are completely out of my comfort zone. So we've gone for a neon tweed. You can see it's got neon neps in there. So I've got DK in that, and I've also got 4-ply in that. I only picked up a kilo of each, so there's only 10 skeins of each. So we'll see how it dyes up and see what I think. But I thought for like the odd exclusive for a yarn show or something, it could be quite fun. And then I also picked up this one, which is a 4-ply boucle yarn. I just thought, again, it'd be fun to dye it up, see what happens. Yeah, so I think I'm going to dye those up for the Glasgow exclusive. Obviously anything that's left over will also go online, and yeah, I might just have a play and dye something up online for that kind of end of the year kind of thing, November, December kind of time, just for a bit of fun in the shop, see what people think. Right, it is Friday, about 5 o'clock on Friday. It is the end of a very, very busy week, but I am glad it's done. I feel like I've caught up finally. As I said, it's been a busy week, catching up with all the WorldCon stuff and everything like that, catching up with all the orders that I missed during WorldCon and all of that kind of thing, and getting caught up with dyeing that I needed to do and things like that. But I think I'm finally kind of there. I feel good and ready going into next week. I've sat down, I've planned things out, and yeah, done as much as I possibly can, and I am ready for a weekend. And we've got a nice weekend. It is Tom's birthday tomorrow. So I think we're having a relatively chill day. We're going to go for a walk on the beach possibly. And then we're going out for dinner in the evening, which will be quite nice. I need to bake a cake tonight, so I will share that with you. I am making an orange cake, I believe, which is a Mary Berry recipe. So hopefully it can't go wrong. But yeah, we will...
yeah, see how that goes. I need to wrap some presents at the moment before Tom gets home from work. And I think I'm about to get dragged downstairs to play Fortnite as well with Arthur, because there's some kind of special duos competition and he needs a duo and he wants me to be the duo with him. So, yeah, I think that's our evening. I'm also testing out a new microphone. Well, I can show you. This is the new microphone, and it attaches to my camera, my phone, so that hopefully you get better audio when I'm recording on my phone, because the audio isn't always brilliant when I'm recording on my phone. But we will see how it goes. I did one test run a minute ago, and then when I played it back, it was a bit rattly, like, I don't know, like I can't explain. It was slightly, you could hear there was a funny noise. Whether that's just the frequency of my voice, I don't know. But I have changed to the fluffy head, and I have changed to a different mode, and hopefully that will work better, and we will see. It'll be a bit of trial and error, but I'm hoping it means that when I pop you up on bookcases and things like that, it won't be
About 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Do you mean 40 or 14?
40.
Oh, you said 20 minutes earlier.
I didn't know.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. 40 minutes is fine. That is the Fortnite thing. He's got the timings wrong, but that's fine. What was I trying to say? Yeah, when I pop you up on bookcases and stuff like that, hopefully you won't get the echoey sound. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. They were 20 quid from Amazon. It didn't break the bank. So hopefully they will work, and we will see how it goes. Anyway, I am going to go wrap some presents, and then I will bring you along later while I bake a cake.
Can you hear me? we've got Tom in the background there, paddling in the sea because it's his birthday, and the rest of us in coats because it's windy and it's raining.
Hello everyone, it is now Friday the 30th of September. This week got away from me a little bit, so I thought rather than filling lots and lots of little snippets of boring stuff that I can't really share colours with you and stuff like that, we would finish off August's vlog with a little chat about my plans for the Halloween make-along. I talked about it a little bit on the podcast, and I've had lots of suggestions for what I could do with the yarns that I was going to choose, and I think I've made some decisions, maybe. So I thought we would talk about it. So there are two yarns, or two sets of yarn that I dug out on the podcast, which if you've seen the podcast already, then you will have seen already. The first is this skein of yarn from Suzanne at Green Lambkin Yarns. Suzanne is the queen of Halloween yarn. So yeah, I always have to go to Suzanne for Halloween yarn every year. I picked this one up with the idea of it destined to become socks. It is called Witchy Woo, and I saw a sample of how it knits up, and it's really, really pretty. It's also a sparkle yarn. You know I'm a sucker for a sparkle. So that is definitely going to be socks. And let's talk about the sock patterns, and then we'll go into the other yarn. I don't quite know what I'm going to do. I'm actually thinking I might kind of create my own sock pattern. I wanted something simple. So basically, I wanted something like a little Hocus Pocus socks by This Handmade Life, which is I'll pop a picture up on the screen so you can see what they look like. But I knit a pair last year out of, again, some Green Lambkin yarn as well, for the Halloween make-along last year, and they're my favourite kind of pattern, that kind of pattern where most of it's stocking stitch, but there's just this one little section of interest, in this case kind of cables. So I wanted something like that, but I was struggling to find anything else Halloween themed that wasn't overly complicated. So I think what I might do is just kind of create my own something or other. I don't quite know what, but something similar. Probably not cables, because I'm not confident enough to kind of create my own cables. I don't know. I have somewhere, possibly at home, a little stitch book. So like a little book that has got like little stitch patterns in it. So I might have a little look in that and see if it's got any kind of little simple cable repeats that I might be able to kind of fit into a sock or something like that. Or maybe some simple little lace patterns that I could fit into the same kind of a little section of a sock. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But I thought I would mention a few patterns that did look interesting. So obviously there was this one, which is a little Hocus Pocus from This Handmade Life. It is a free pattern. The other one I was looking at was the Sanderson Sisters, which is a paid for pattern by Sarah Glavas, which again, Halloween themed. But yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't quite interesting enough for me. It was a little bit simple, so I think, but that was another possible. The other one, again, it's not particularly Halloween themed, but it's a free pattern and it's been on my radar for a long time, and I did wonder about doing it this time, and that is the Zigzagular Socks by Susie White, which just have this fun little sort of zigzag cable kind of feature down the side. And I've not completely ruled that one out yet. I'm still contemplating it. As I said, it's a free pattern, so yeah. My issue with sock patterns sometimes is that I tend to, regardless of the sock pattern that I'm following, I tend to do my own heel, I tend to do my own toe, I tend to do my own cuff. So unless it's a sock pattern that is relatively, I don't know how to say this. Unless it's a sock pattern that is, I don't know. Anyway, I struggle a little bit with sock patterns unless I actually decide to follow them properly, and I don't always follow them properly. So I'm thinking I might kind of create my own. I would love to design my own sock pattern. My issue is when I come to write up heels and things like that, I've yet to find a way to do it that doesn't just feel like I'm copying everyone else, and I don't really want to do that. So yeah, but I think I might have a look at that stitch book and see if I can create my own little pattern that goes down the leg. Anyway, I rambled. That didn't really come out as clearly and succinctly as I would have liked it to. But that is my plan. These will be socks. The other yarn I pulled out, as you would have seen, again, if you watch the podcast, is this fade set from Beehive Yarns. And this was her Wednesday, there's a thing on the back. It is her Wednesday themed set. It was a 13-day countdown for Halloween, so there's 13 mini skeins here, all 20 grams. And as we discovered on the podcast, I decided I want to make some kind of top out of this. And I got lots of suggestions. I'm going to pair it with some Pebble, which is this one here. So I have stolen my last 3 skeins of Pebble, and I have got the minis, and I'm going to pair that in some kind of striped top. There were a whole host of suggestions. So I will go through, I've got 6 suggestions that came across on the podcast, which I will go through quickly and show you all of them. And then I'll talk about the 2 that I'm kind of torn between at the moment. So the first one is the Tolster Tee by, I want to say Rebecca Clow. Have I got that right? I may have got that wrong. This is such a versatile pattern that everybody seems to have knit one apart from me. So I feel like it's been on my radar for a long time, and actually this might be a good chance to kind of start it. It's really versatile and there's lots of options for modifications and things with it. So I think that bodes really well for doing like a striped version. A little bit like I did my So Faded, by kind of adjusting how I did it and putting stripes in, but following the main pattern. The other one that was mentioned was the Sock Arm Sweater by Tellybean Knits, which has been on my radar for ages. As you can see from the picture, you knit a plain body and then you, generally you use self-striping for the sleeves, but you could make your own stripes by striping yarn. That would be fine. My only hesitation with this one is that I think I'd get really bored knitting the body if I was knitting the body in a plain yarn, and it would take a long time to get to the exciting bit of knitting the stripes, but it would make the sleeves go faster. So there is that. The other one that was recommended is Ink and Brass by Danny Sunshine. This is a really pretty kind of simple jumper. I think it would work really well. My only hesitation is that it only goes up to a 52-inch bust size, and it actually ended up putting me at the penultimate bust size. And although I am large, I am not the largest, if that makes sense. So it didn't feel a particularly size inclusive pattern. The other one that looked really interesting is the Twist cardigan by Amber O'Brien. This just looks really interesting. I do want more cardigans in my life, which is one of the things that's tempting me towards it. And yeah, it's designed, I can't remember how many, so I think it was designed with 10 minis, but you could adjust it to make it work for 13, even if you ended up with them going down the sleeves slightly, or if you had slightly smaller stripes possibly. But yeah, that one looked really interesting. And then there was the Camaro by Tanis Lavelli, which is very similar in kind of the idea to the Twist cardigan, with that kind of triangular stripe of colours. And yeah, that looks really versatile. I think it's designed to use scraps, so it would work really well with mini skeins as well. And then the final one is Lifesavers by Tanis Lavelli, which I love the look of. Again, cardigan, and I could do with more cardigans in my life. The only thing that put me off this one, and I think why it's not at the top of my list, is because it starts with a provisional crochet cast on, and I hate doing provisional crochet cast ons. I have not yet managed to do one and then managed to unpick it without everything turning to a complete disaster. And I want this to be as low stress as possible. But I really love it, and it would work so nicely with this. I reckon it would work really nicely with an advent as well, if you wanted to do stripes of an advent or something like that. It just looks really fun. The two I'm leaning towards are the Tolster tee and the Twist cardigan. I'm actually leaning more towards the Tolster tee because I think I could use my So Faded sweater to give me an idea of what I want to do in terms of the length of the the length of the main colour and the length of the kind of mini skein stripes to make it work. And also if I could repeat them, if that makes sense. And I feel like that would be the easiest on my brain. But I really do like the look of the Twist cardigan, and this would be a great way to use the minis in something like that. But I just think I've printed out both patterns, and I'm going to sit down properly and have a look through the patterns and make a decision. But I think in terms of practicality and what I might actually kind of get knit properly, I'm leaning towards the Tolster tee. Because also I feel like the Tolster tee, once I've done it once, it's something that I may end up doing again and again, a bit similar to the kind of So Faded pattern, in that I've knit that a couple of times now, because it becomes a relatively easy pattern to follow, and it's really versatile, and you can mix up the way you do it with stripes and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, they're what I'm leaning towards. So yeah, I'm probably going to cake the yarn up this afternoon. And I'm probably going to kind of cast on maybe over the weekend. I'm not quite sure what we're up to this weekend. Tom has succumbed to the cold that everyone has had. I've had Arthur off this week with it as well. And he has succumbed to it. So we may be having a very quiet weekend. We will see. But I might actually get things cast on this weekend. So I need to make some decisions. But let me know. Let me know what you think. What would you go for? I may completely disregard it and have cast on something completely different, but it's always interesting to get people's opinions, and also it's really interesting when people give pattern suggestions, because I found so many patterns that I hadn't seen before. So yeah, sock pattern. Give me suggestions for sock patterns. I want something relatively simple. Preferably, my favourite, like there's just a little panel that's got the pattern in and the rest is stocking stitch, but maybe Halloween themed. And if you're a sock designer, design that sock for me because we need more Halloween themed socks like that, definitely. That aren't just like all over pattern and crazy cables all over and really complex. I want more simple patterns with a little bit of interest that are themed around stuff. Anyway, I am going to wrap up August's vlog here. I hope you have enjoyed it. We had a lot on in August, and I feel like it was a little bit of a chaotic one, but we'll see how it goes. I am actually going to sit down and plan September's vlog out slightly more, think about specific things that I might want to talk to you about, think about specific things that we've got going on that I might want to include in the vlog. So hopefully the chaos will reduce slightly. I mean, there's never going to be no chaos, is there? But yeah, that's the plan. September, we have got a few things on. We are going to a board game convention, which should be good fun. I think that's about it. That's about it. That's all we've got planned, really. So hopefully that means we'll manage some family walks and we'll manage a few other bits and pieces, and I'll actually get crafting again and I'll be able to talk about crafting stuff with you. But yes, thank you very, very, very much for watching, as always. And if you have made it to the end of August's vlog, then leave me the sunflower emoji, because sunflowers and August, I don't know why, they go together in my head. Leave me the sunflower emoji to let me know that you got to the end, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.